And welcome into the box score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. Justin Malden always doing all the hard work behind the scenes. And it's our final show of the year, Murph. Doesn't seem possible.
No, but there's still lots of basketball left. The state tournament started this week, and some great girls games I saw today, and then the boys games next week. And we're very lucky to have 3 different teams from our coverage area involved in the Last Dance.
That's right. There's Smith County girls, which will be playing on Thursday at 12:45, and then you've got Cannon County and Gordonsville boys playing next week over at the Murphy Center. Everybody calls it the Glass House. And, it's awful special to be a part of that. Let's go ahead and look at the brackets for Class 2A. Looking at McMinn Central, a lot of people feel like they're the team to beat. They've got York right out of the chute at 9:30 on Thursday morning. You got Gibson County, 35-1, outstanding year for them in Huntington. McMinn Central and Gibson County throughout the year have been 1-2. And Smith County's opponent, which is Gatlinburg-Pittman, led by Maddie Newman, averaging 25.3 points per game, playing against Smith County at 22-11. Then you've got Loretta playing Westview, Murph, 4 games on Thursday to get to the semifinals and then on to this championship on Saturday.
Terry, you look at those teams right there, and they all deserve to be there. I think this is the heaviest as far as talent is concerned. I think this is the heaviest set of brackets that I've seen in some time for that classification.
Of course, if Smith County could get a win, they would play somewhere around 5:30 on Friday from the Glass House in Murfreesboro. Let's go ahead and look at the 1A boys bracket. Of course, Gordonsville punched their ticket with a big win over South Pittsburgh, stormed out the 32-7 lead. When you look at Gordonsville, playing against somebody we don't know a lot about, North Middle College, which is right in the middle of Memphis. I've actually been to that school one time. Been a few years ago when it first got started, but Greg Bibb has his team playing well. And, when you look at this bracket, Murphy, why not Gordonsville?
Well, that's true. And it's one of several schools that have popped up in the last few years as charter schools. And consequently, they have drawn some of the best talent from Shelby County to those particular schools, regardless of sport. So it'll be an interesting battle. But Gordonsville appears to be playing its best basketball right now, the perfect time to do that. And I look for that to be a track meet almost, if you will.
Chattanooga Prep and Union City, that's 2 teams that are playing right there, Murph, that people are anxious to get to see that first game of the day there at 4 o'clock. Of course, Gordonsville doesn't play till 7:15. At least it's not down there what's the old Clifton High School. Frank Hughes and Jellicoe are playing that last game. It may be 9 or 9:15 before that one even gets underway. But, best of luck to Greg Bibb and his Tigers. First time since 1996. The only other time that Gordonsville went to the state tournament boys, I think it was the same year that at that time was known as the Carthage Owlettes went in their only appearance in 73. So it's kind of ironic that Gordonsville boys go back the same time that the Lady Owls win.
Yeah, you mentioned that Chattanooga Prep Union City game. I used to cover Union City when I was still in school at UT Martin, and that's a team that's been to the state tournament many times. Chattanooga Prep, a team that I'm not real sure about. They have no seniors on that team. It's a new charter school in Chattanooga, and consequently, they made the football playoffs last year. Weren't a great team, but they did get into the playoffs with no seniors on the squad.
You look at the Class 2A bracket with Cannon County. You got Whites Creek and Hickman County. You got Austin East and Douglas. Douglas, of course, is undefeated at 33-0. You got East Nashville and Alcoa, and then Cannon County going against Ripley.
I would say that Cannon County-Ripley game may be close to 3 o'clock before it starts, because that's the 4th game of the day, and for all of these games to be played in an hour and a half with 15 minutes in between, they'll be hard-pressed to get those in on time, those on the latter part of the schedule.
Murph, I know you get to call Cannon County, I get to call Smith County girls. We realize, and we're long enough in the tooth and old enough to know that's special when you get to go to Murphy Center.
Oh, it is. It's as special for us as it is for the kids and the fans. So Upper Cumberland, let's go. Let's all 3 of those teams move deep into the bracket.
Right. we've been privileged to have Watertown Athletic Director with us, Eric Trusty. And Eric, no spring sports going on at Watertown, and you don't have much to do. Is that right?
Oh, we ain't got anything to do over here with all the spring sports going on.
Tell us what sports are going on right now at Watertown High School.
Yeah, we just finished up wrestling. We had a student go to state, medal at state. We're very proud of that. Spring sports starting up. We got baseball going, softball, soccer, tennis, and track. And we've been gearing up and getting ready. If this rain would hold off, it'd help us out a little bit more about getting some more practice in.
Eric, I'm kind of curious how you all got started with wrestling, how you went about finding a wrestling coach, because there's not a lot of high schools in our immediate area, our coverage area, that have wrestling as one of their sports. Was that a difficult journey for you to take?
Well, wrestling was already established here whenever I came. We've always had some pretty good programs here. Coach Foster, our previous coach, and he stepped down, and we have Sean Sesman that stepped in, and he's not anything new to the wrestling world. He's played college, and he's coached and all this, and he's done a wonderful job, and he's built our program up in just the 2 years that he's been here. We had probably 10 to 15 students last year come out, and this year we had right near 30, and we've had a few girl wrestlers come out, and they've done a good job, and he's been on it for us. He's done an excellent job, and we can't, we're just glad to have him on the program, and he's really building the program up, and we have lots of interest. The middle school he's working with them, and we got a lot of prospects coming up. So we're really excited about wrestling. Like I said, we had Gunnar Tompkins this year. He placed third in the state, and we're proud of that. And I know he was proud of it. He's texted me that Saturday, let me know. He plays. So we're really proud of our wrestling program building up, and we compete with the other big schools in the county. We're right up there with them, so we're excited about it.
That's awesome. I did not know all of that, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
Eric, when you look at wrestling, that was not a sanctioned sport at Gordonsville High School, because I've been down through the halls back when you were there, and wrestling among football players is a little different than the wrestling that we have today, right?
Oh yeah, it's a little bit different, but we're encouraging, a lot of our football players. We've had quite a few come out for wrestling because it helps them with offensive linemen, with their feet movement and all that. So we're really encouraging them, and we had quite a few come out. So we're hoping that wrestling benefits us in football also.
Terry, are you hinting that maybe Gordonsville wrestling years ago was more like Saturday night wrestling on TV?
Yeah, that's true. But it wasn't fake very much. I'll say that for you. But Eric, when you look at all these sports going on, it takes a lot of people involved, whether it be coaches or assistant coaches, getting the field ready, getting whatever prepared in order to do that. And with so many sports going on at once, it stretches you mighty thin, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have our month planner kind of for April and May, already crossed out. It's a full time. We're here every night with everything going on. But we have great coaches. We have great parents. We have great supporters to come out and help us in all the ways, which kind of makes my job a little bit easier. And we share the wealth on the games, and we try to be at all of them and be a part of it. But overall, like I said, we have a great community here. We have great support. So, with that, it makes our job a lot easier.
Is Watertown growing enough that it can finance that many different sports that you have now that you've got wrestling and some others that a lot of people in your classification don't necessarily have?
Oh yeah, we definitely have the support. All of our athletics are self-funded, and the coaches do a good job of making sure that we put the money in the things that are important, and the kids and the equipment and what we need to keep everything going. So yeah, we're very fortunate here. Have a great community, great support, and you couldn't ask for anything better.
Eric, when you look at your baseball and softball programs, especially with both of them and the amount of returnees you have, when I say fresh off a couple of years ago, winning the state championship, that kind of put everybody in a buzz. I know got to see that team play several times with Smith County being in the same district as them. When you do something like that and go far beyond what a lot of people thought you would and beat a Pigeon Forge team that a lot of people felt like was unbeatable in the championship game, that kind of puts your baseball program on the map. And Coach Purvis has done that. Not that you had a bad baseball team before, but to win the first ever state championship for Watertown with your baseball program. When I talk to people in Watertown, they are anxious to get to the spring of the year to see both your baseball and softball teams perform.
Oh, yeah. The expectations are off the roof, and and it's deserved. I've known Coach Purvis for years. We worked together at Mount Gillett, and I've seen how successful he was there as a coach. And to come here, I was so happy to hear, that he won his state championship here. But no, we have great student athletes, great kids who want to win, and they've seen it and they put the work in. This isn't just a spring thing. They're working year round and pushing with softball. Also, we're really excited this year with baseball and softball. We always have high expectations, and we got a good shot this year to go pretty deep in both softball and baseball. So we're really excited about it. We can't wait. I'm with everybody else. I'm ready for it to get warmer and the rain stop, and let's get out there and start watching some ball.
Eric, I'm going to put you to the test. We all know Watertown's got a great football program, basketball, both boys and girls. We've already talked about baseball and softball and wrestling. What other sports do you offer there for the young people?
Well, for this spring, we have boys soccer starting up. We got Coach Fish. He's took over for Coach Perisher, who did a great job for us and really built the program up. He's our girls soccer coach, and he's taken over this year for the boys, and we have high expectations for that. He's got a pretty good team. I know Coach Fish works them really hard, so I know we're really excited about that. Tennis, we always, I always say one of our secret crown jewels when it comes to sports here at Watertown is our tennis teams. We're always competitive. We're always in the state. Coach Thomas is back at it, and they're out there every day. I see them every afternoon practicing, and so we're excited about that. We have high expectations for them also. And Coach Hackett with track, we had our first track meet Monday night, and we've had students do a very good job. Run very well, so we're very excited about that. We have some potential for some kids to go pretty far in state in that. So overall, sports here at Watertown High School, it's something to be proud of, and I'm proud of it. And we have hardworking coaches that all get along with each other, work well with each other, and it's a year-long thing, and they all support each other. And that's special, and that's something that all schools need. And I'm really proud here at Watertown how that goes.
Well, I would agree. And the more sports you offer for more kids, that just allows them to be more of a part of Watertown High School athletics. And I think that's a win-win for everybody involved.
Eric, when you look, I know Josh Hackett surely is not teaching any of those track athletes to tackle the fellow tracksters. Besides that, no, tongue-in-cheek, I know Josh took that several years ago. But I want to focus just in the last part of our interview here on your facilities. I think they're second to none, and I'm including all the high schools in Wilson County. I'm including all the fellow district. Your facilities, whether it be wrestling or tennis or baseball or softball or soccer, they're second to none. That layout at Watertown High School is phenomenal.
And Terry, if I'm not mistaken, they had the soccer fields laid out before they had soccer teams.
Right.
Is that not right, Eric?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that sounds about right. No, our facilities they're second to none. With all our outdoor sports, Mr. Ed Roberts does a great job of keeping the facilities up. All the coaches do a great job. The indoors with their basketball and volleyball and everything, and our wrestling. It's you come here, you see something special. I'll put our baseball field up against even some minor league teams around here about how great it is. We walked down there the other day, and it looks absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And that's one thing that I love to share and brag. But it takes the team, and the coaches are here year round working on it. I said Mr. Roberts is here, all day, every day. We just had a meeting earlier today about some things, and that's what he loves to do, and he takes pride in it. And you can tell how wonderful our facilities look just because of all the people that care enough about Watertown and love it and want it to be great.
Eric, we'd be remiss. I know we're running over on time, but your indoor facility is something that 3 or 4 years ago, nobody dreamed that Watertown would have a facility like that, and that's the icing on the cake for all those sports.
Oh, definitely. And, all of our sports take advantage of it when we can. They take care of it. They do a great job with it. So, all the students get to go in there at some point. We'll have a rainy day practice, and it's kind of a madhouse trying to make sure we schedule people to get where they need to be indoors. But, it is a beautiful facility. We're extremely lucky to have it. And it's just on top of everything else here at Watertown, it's just, it's second to none.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you visiting with us. You're a Gordonsville alum, and we're going to go with another Gordonsville alumnus, Jonathan Bush with Gordonsville softball when we return, as we remind you, you're watching the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
At DTC, we're proud to provide the communication and entertainment services you need to get the most from today's technology.
Get a $50 bill credit when you add or upgrade your internet package with us. Supercharge your video streaming and high-performance gaming because we've got you covered.
Get the technology you want, backed by local customer service from neighbors you know and trust. DTC Communications, your total communications provider.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with one truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Here with Gordonsville softball head coach Jonathan Bush. And Jonathan, I'm sure they've already mailed the state championship trophy to Gordonsville for 2024. You win it a year ago. You've got everybody back. You've got Kaylee Plumley, University of Tennessee commit. Is it that easy, Jonathan?
Well, we're going to take one game at a time, Terry. A lot of expectations this year. A lot of things, max preps and a lot of things come out in the Tennessean, and which is good for our program, good for our girls. But we've had some good talks to our kids and to making sure they understand that, that we're taking one game at a time and just go from there.
Coach, it's got to be quite gratifying putting Gordonsville on the map, not only for other sports that they've been noted for, but I had a chance to see your softball team play last year, and I'll tell you what, when you got people like your pitching staff, it makes it extremely difficult for anybody to score points against you.
Yeah, as most people know, the softball game has the feature of the softball game is in the circle, and we've been very fortunate here at Gordonsville to have some very good pitchers, and Kaylee's one of them. And what Kaylee's able to do for us each day that she's in the circle, that gives us an opportunity to win a game. Even a day that you don't hit the ball very well, most of those days, Kaylee, if we play defense behind her, we shouldn't give up very many runs. So it gives us a very good chance to be successful each and every game.
If the other team doesn't score, you can't lose, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Coach Bush, when you look at the success that Gordonsville softball has had under you, I know you won the state championship with Corey Jennings, who wound up being the Gatorade Player of the Year for all classifications, and then turn around this year. Of course, you and I are close best friends, I guess. You didn't like it when they come out and said, in all classifications, Gordonsville softball is the best team in the state of Tennessee. That's quite, just to be mentioned with that, with the private schools and the outstanding teams that you see at all three classifications, that is a tremendous achievement just to be named to that, although it kind of puts an X on your back.
A big X.
Yeah.
A big X on your back.
It does. When that came out, our next practice, we sit down with our girls, and this is pretty much what we told them, that every day that you show up to the ballpark to play somebody, you're going to get their best crowds, you're going to get their best uniforms, you're going to get everything best about that team. So one day when you decide not to play your best game, that team is going to be playing their best, because in the game of sports in today's time, you want to knock off the team that you think at the top. Well, I'm not saying we're at the top, but when that stuff came out, it kind of puts you, like you said, Terry, on that kind of bullseye, and it makes you be prepared every game to get that team's best effort.
Jonathan, does that make things extremely difficult when it comes to putting a schedule together? Nobody wants to play somebody like that unless they have to, I would think.
Well, I'm actually looking at our schedule right now, and with the rain and stuff in the forecast, I'm kind of moving some things around. But when I look at the schedule, you see the teams like DeKalb, Upperman, the Riverdales, the Green Hills, Coffee Counties, Davis County, Kentucky, which was finished 8th in Kentucky out of all classifications. We're going to play Knox Grace, who, Terry, remember we played in the 14th state championship. We're playing Hardin Valley. So we try to make our schedule as difficult. And we don't really use the word difficult as much as making those games on where when we show up to the regions and the sub-state, that we've been prepared our kids for those high-state games. And we've always tried to do that, and I think that just prepares us. I'm not a coach that looks at my record and looks how we've done this year. I think if you prepare your girls each and every game by playing those type of teams, it's going to make you better when it comes May.
Jonathan, when you look at the transition from last year to this year, of course, I know it's a totally different year. I know you've got most of those players back, maybe lost one or two. But one loss that I feel like is a big one for you is your pitching coach, Randy Jennings, now working in DeKalb County at their, at the Board of Education. Randy did a lot for your program. Of course, he had an outstanding daughter that played for you that was a part of that 2014 team. Discuss how big a void, I guess you would say, with Randy Jennings not here now.
Yeah, me and Randy, when Randy came on with us and when Corey was here in school, not only was Randy a pitching coach for us, became a very good friend of mine, and we would run things through each other, and we became very close. And what Randy was able to do with our program, with our pitching, with our players, he's a great man is one thing, but he gained such a great relationship with our pitchers, even though one was his daughter. And what he did for our girls was tremendously. And again, Kaylee and him had gained a great relationship, and just his soft-spoken voice to her, it just made things great. Randy is for sure going to be missed, and I still talk to Randy often and to ask him and run things through him, because what he knows about the pitching aspect of the game, and really all of it, but mainly he dealt with the pitching with us, was tremendous, and it really was a huge loss for us. But still, I call him often to run things through him, Terry, to kind of see what he thinks about stuff.
One thing that I'd like to bring up, and that's probably 20 or 25 years ago, all those afternoons and evenings that Terry and I and countless other dads and moms spent at Crump Parish Park with summer softball and slow pitch softball. And then all of a sudden those girls were thrown into a brand new ring that they had no idea how to take care of that thing. It's pretty amazing to me in a relatively short period of time how well both teams there in Smith County have done converting to fast pitch softball. Wouldn't you say that, Jonathan?
Yes, I travel. We travel everywhere, and playing across, across Tennessee, and even in Kentucky and other places. But for our town and our community and our ballpark, what we do for our league, we have a great league, and we go all over playing at different parks. We have a great Crump Parish Park that does a great job with our leagues. Mr. Colin does a great job with that. We do good programs in both of our high schools here, which says a lot for our softball in our county. And again, softball is such a growing sport. And like you said, when I started coaching in '99, how things have changed. We wore shorts, and the softballs were white. And you took one pitcher, and she may pitch 40 games that year. Now the game has grown so much, and there's so much growth in the pitching and stuff. It's just, I think softball is really the one sport that is really growing tremendously across the board.
Jonathan, let's talk a little about your facilities. I know that there's been a lot of people donated a lot of money and time and effort into doing the renovations that you've done. Tell everybody what you've done at Crump Parish Park on what we used to call the little girls' field to make it look like nearly like a college field now. And if you want to name drop, do that because I know there was a lot of people who spent a lot of time over there.
Got to give credit where credit's due.
Right, including yourself.
Yeah, well, again, I really hate to do too many names. We're going to do some stuff in the season this year that's going to recognize those people, so I'm afraid to leave someone out. But just looking at our dugouts itself, I had a father outside our program come into our dugout the other night, and I'm not boasting about our dugout, but when we started to renovate our dugout, some of the dads were like, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. So we have an unbelievable sized dugout that is blocked with lights and electricity. It's just amazing inside our dugout. Our grass, all the grass and stuff, which again, all that stuff was donated. Our fence, all the stuff was donated by different companies. And our metal, that we have a brand new metal fence up. And all that stuff, again, I kind of hate to name names because there's so many people out there, and we are going to do this at our dedication to our field one day. But there's just so many new things at our park that really makes our park such a nice place. And that was only been able to be done by the people of our community. People don't understand there's so many people who will call me and say, hey, I seen you working at the ball field. What are you doing? And I'll tell them. And they may come by the school and they may just donate some money and say, hey, we want to help you with this, or we want to help you with the next fundraiser. And that shows how much support we have in our town, in our community, for our schools and our girls, that people are willing to come out and just help and give to improve your facilities. And again, the Crump Parish Park, our field itself looks tremendously different this year, and we're very proud of it.
Jonathan, that's the one thing I like about any sport is going to a single A school game instead of a 5A or 6A school. Everybody in the stands is either related to the players on the field or knows them and have watched them grow up from age 5 and beyond. And it's something really special when you go to a small community like that.
It is, and just our boys are in the state tournament right now, and if anybody, in which, Smith County girls, they're in the state playing tomorrow also. And that shows a lot about our town and our sports. And if you was at our gym the other night, or I'm pretty sure if you was at Smith County's basketball game the other night, man, it's just great to see the support that we have in our town and this little small town for what they expect, I guess you say, and they want from our programs.
Well, Jonathan Bush, we appreciate you visiting with us. Good luck in trying to snare that third gold ring. Maybe you'll run out of fingers on one hand, and you can. But I know people are excited, and hopefully you'll get back to the state tournament and win it for the third time. Best of luck.
That'd be great, Jay. I appreciate what you guys do.
All right, we've been talking to Jonathan Bush, and we'll have the Canyon County baseball coach, Colin Jones, when we return to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookeville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
And welcome back to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. And we're with Colin Jones, the baseball coach for Canyon County. And Coach, what are you going to do for encore after last year's great performance? Because that was truly a special ride for the Lions.
It was a fun ride, and hopefully we can repeat the success this year to start it off. We'll be without our basketball players for the first week, but that's just fine with me, as they're getting all the success in the world right now and getting to experience the ride we went on last year. So,
Coach, it was interesting. I was at the state baseball tournament too, partially to watch you guys and partially to watch my grandson at Adamsville. But it was the first time I'd been to the state baseball tournament in a long time. And despite the fact that neither one of the teams I referenced went very far in the program, I think both of them return a lot of players from last year, and hopefully that experience that they gained will be a major asset for this coming season.
Oh, for sure. The experience that our guys got last year, it was big for us. I'll tell you, our first practice this year, we just had to go back over it and just remind everybody it's a new year, and that it wasn't guaranteed that we'll ever get to do that again. But they came in with a different work ethic this year, and it's been awesome because each of them want to go back. The newcomers want to go and experience that. And I think it was very good for our program, especially with 2 basketball players getting to go this year also that were on the baseball team last year. Everybody in the community getting to see it. It just helps out all the programs in general.
Talk about AJ a little bit, because I really have enjoyed watching him on the basketball court, but everybody keeps telling me baseball is his best sport. That's kind of hard to believe, as good as he is on the hardwood.
I'm a little partial. I think he's one of the best players in the state of Tennessee, and he is still an uncommitted senior, which is hard for me to believe with all the success that he's had. He's been a 2-time All-State player. He's averaged over a 400 average for 3 years. He is top 5 in the state, I believe, in records of most base on balls in his 3 years.
Oh, my.
He is an exceptional player, great work ethic. He has done everything we can. He is a leader, a coach on the field, however it is. He gets the job done every single night.
I got tickled at the pictures his mother put out on the stands for basketball. A close-up shot of him, Terry, with his tuxedo on. And he's always had a really full beard.
Right.
And it said, under the 8x10 picture, it said, "Fear the beard." And his mom put those throughout Robert A. Harris Gymnasium.
Coach, when you look at the success that basketball has had, and I know you're a big part of that, along with some of your players, Cannon County basketball, yes, they went to the state tournament, one other time in basketball?
85.
85. And then baseball last year was your first trip, is that correct?
First ever.
Wow.
So
Correct.
when you look at that, the morale around the program has got to be at an all-time high because of the success that last year's baseball team and this year's basketball team has had.
Correct. Everything is state or bust in Cannon County right now. Everybody wants to do it. Our girls, they had a great showing, and then they came up just short against a very good Summertown team. I thought they did a good job. It goes throughout the entire school. Our cross-country members, they had 2 members in the state tournament. Our basketball team's there. The baseball team was there a year ago. Our tennis team had an individual this past year. Throughout the school, we've just got some very good athletes right now. And I think it just kind of shows throughout the entire school that a little confidence will get you a long ways, because once you see one person do it, you just want to put in a little bit more work and a little bit more effort, and kind of shows the way.
Colin, I think, too, the fact that the middle school athletic teams have done so well in this school year and last year as well, that just signifies, for me anyway, that there's that much more talent coming for years ahead.
Well, it's just totally different also, because we've been preaching this for years now. We've been wanting a middle school for 30 years. We've never had a middle school, and it's just what a coincidence. In the first 2 years that it's there, 2 major sports have made it to the state tournament. They finally get to play together.
Colin, when you look at Cannon County and the baseball program, I know that, it's been on hard times. But I think once you turn the corner and taste that success, you just want to do it more and more and more. And I know in basketball-wise, because I've been over to your little junior pro days, especially when Coach Dodgen was there were so many girls and so many boys that wanted to come because they had high school kids coaching them or reffing their games or whatever, to increase that enthusiasm and want them to be Lions or Lionettes down the road. Can you see that maybe taking a turn for the better as far as the baseball program and softball program go, where it bleeds over into other things, where they grow up wanting to be a successful baseball or softball or whatever other sport that you've got there at Cannon County High School?
For sure. We've got numerous amounts of kids that's playing travel baseball, travel softball, playing little leagues. We had a travel team from Woodbury this past year ask if they could be the Wood Boys baseball team also, because that's kind of how our guys took on that motto at the end of last year, and we let them do it, and they thought it was the greatest thing ever. Our guys kind of went and saw some of them and took pictures with them. It was a really cool thing to see, just because all these little kids wanted to be like the older kids was at the high school and wanted that success too.
Colin, when you look at, some key pieces to the puzzle coming back for you from last year, I know you can build around those but you've got to have 9 players out there, and some of those have got to probably play roles that are increased this year. They're moving up from maybe a 8 and 9 batting position to a 2 or a 3 or a 1. How important is it that you get those, and I don't want to call them supporting cast, I guess is the word I'm looking for, to get them to perform, because you know what you're going to get out of your superstars, but the people around them is what you've got to have, to make a successful run.
Correct, yes. We have, everybody on our team has a certain role, and that role may change every game. But we've got kids like Logan Fritz and Blake Fritz and Landon Smith and Eli Morris who played half of the games last year. We have the Fritz brothers. They, for religious purposes, they do not play on Fridays or Saturdays. And it really, honestly, it helped out our depth more than anything last year, because Eli Morris, Gage Noakes, Landon Smith would step in every weekend game and play. And then at the end of the year, when tournament came around, then they were ready to roll at that point. We had some injuries happen late in the year last year, and those guys stepped in like it was nothing. And they did a great job throughout our postseason run. I think that we've got some freshmen coming in this year and some upcoming sophomores. They're going to step in and play a big role in us. I mean, we're a very young team this year.
Coach, any teams on your schedule this year for the diehard baseball fans? Any schools you may go up against during the regular season that have not been on Cannon County's baseball schedule in the past?
Yes, actually, it was a very hard schedule to make this year. We'll have Forest every year, which they're on the district now, that we've not had lately. We're going to go to East Nashville this year because they were a region foe last year for this district we've moved into. We play a classic that we host here in Woodbury the last weekend of March, where we have 4 teams from Indiana, Alabama, Ohio, everywhere coming in.
Coach, when you look at trying to put a schedule together, some people like to play weaker opponents on the front end of the schedule, and then by the time you get to district, kind of ramp that up a little. Hey, we went to the state and we want to play those tough teams starting out from day one. And sometimes when you got a younger pitching staff versus a seasoned staff, that may affect the way you schedule. How do you look at that?
Correct. Well, personally, you can tell last year at the state tournament, we were one of 2 teams with an under 500 record in the state tournament. Record's just a number to me. It's how you finish at the end. So we're starting off the year this year. We have a scrimmage tomorrow with Warren County. We start our first 2 games against Livingston Academy and then White County. And then we go to have a home and away with East Nashville, who was a region opponent last year, was in the region tournament. And then we'll go against Watertown, who's the top 5 team in the state in AA. Then we get Forest, who's the top 5 team in the state in AA. Cascade, again, who we played in sub-state last year. So our schedule is completely loaded with very good talent throughout. And it wouldn't shock me if I look up at the end of district play and we may have a 500 record or below or right around it.
Like you say, the numbers aren't the main thing. You're just trying to get ready for the postseason, right?
Correct. People's going to have pitching innings, things like that. Like A.J. Armstrong may be our ace this year, but he may have the least amount of innings coming into the season just because of how rest works and how pitching innings work, and how he's going to miss the first week of the season. We're going to be careful with him coming off an injury last year where he wasn't able to pitch most of the season.
Coach, when you look at what you just said as far as playing that tough schedule during the year, I guarantee you there's not many people in Cannon County could tell you what your overall record probably was last year, but they can tell you that you went to the state tournament. And
that is 100% fact.
And you see it in basketball. I mean, basketball, any sport, say tourney sports, you can go 16-0 in the NFL during the regular season, or 17-0, I guess now. If you lose first round of the playoffs, people forget you.
Yep.
How you do in the postseason, that's what sports is all about now, unfortunately. I mean, not that you don't want to win the regular season or not going to try to win, but with it being a tourney game where all the teams go to the postseason, that's very important.
Correct. Everything is on the end of the year. I mean, last year or the year before last, we set a school record with 17 wins, but we were first round of the district. We were eliminated. So it was tough. The next year we scheduled really tough games, but we said we was going to be ready for it, and I think it paid off. I really do.
Well, Colin Jones, we appreciate you visiting with us. Best of luck, not only to the Cannon County basketball program, but for the baseball program that's getting fired up. And I know you're anxious to get those baseball players back out there and get the season on the diamond underway.
For sure. It's going to be a busy week for me next week with 2 sports.
That's for sure. We've been visiting with Cannon County baseball head coach, Colin Jones.
Friendly, traditional banking at its best. It's what our customers have learned to expect at Citizens Bank, and we're always happy to deliver, with plenty of options for personal and commercial checking accounts, as well as a variety of loan types. We can help you achieve your financial goals, all with a friendly hometown smile. Citizens Bank at 407 Main Street and 61 Dixon Springs Highway in Carthage, 70 Cookville Highway in South Carthage, and 530 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There are some services that you don't need every single day, but when you do, you need them fast. That's the kind of service that Roto-Rooter provides. Owned by the Watson family, Roto-Rooter is your next licensed trusted plumber with quick and dependable plumbing and drain service for those in DeKalb, Smith, and White counties. They can do it all and on your schedule. So go ahead and call the plumbing and drain experts of Roto-Rooter today. 615-215-7686.
So, go check it out.
Deterring crime. It's the first job of a home security system from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. The time to get started is right now.
Let us help protect your home.
So?
A lot of nice stuff and an alarm.
Don't delay. Call DTC Security now or visit us online.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with 1 truck and a couple old borrowed trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Welcome back to the Box Score. We want to first of all thank Carthage Safeway. They were our sponsor in football and again in basketball, and we encourage you to go out and see Todd and Angela out on Dixon Springs Highway. They've got a great breakfast every morning.
They got a great menu, don't they?
Menu during the day. I mean, they've got everything on that turntable. Go out and see Todd and Angela. Let them know you appreciate them sponsoring the Box Score, because if not for them, we can't do this. And you know, they fork out a lot of money in order to do that, and we ask you to patronize those people. Murphy, let's take a little year-end look, I guess. You know, we started out in football back in August.
Right.
And of course, football is king, and I know with 3 basketball teams making the state tournament, it's a great run. But really when you look at football and getting started and getting to do the the Gordonsville and Smith County game, which was at Gordonsville this year, which is always our first DTC game, just the excitement surrounding the start of football season, it's like no other.
Well, it really is. And of course, there's in-county rivalries all across the state. But I would, having lived in Smith County for almost 20 years and you your entire life, I've seen a lot of different high school football games from Memphis to Mountain City. And when the Tigers and the Owls get together, it's always special.
You know, when you look, of course, they moved the game to Thursday night this year. I think that was a great move, because you had a lot of people in the area that normally would follow their normal team on Friday night get to come in that case, to Turney Ford Field to witness what is become a very spectacle-filled ball game.
Well, not only that, it gives 18 other coaches a chance to scout Gordonsville and Smith County too, to find, because they're going to play teams like Watertown and DeKalb and all those other teams that are relatively close to Carthage and Gordonsville. So it's been going on for so long that it's just everybody already has that week circled now for the 2024 season.
I know that, we don't cover baseball and softball like we do girls and boys basketball and football. But when you look at the football season and 11 different games, I think it was, that DTC covers, of course, you can go to DTC3TV.com in order to get the schedule for all that.
Right.
But, there's people that still come to me even now and say, hey, we watched the rerun of a game that was however long ago, whether it be a county basketball tournament, a Christmas parade, a local game. And when I say a local game, a Cannon County, a DeKalb County, a Watertown, a Smith County, a Gordonsville game. And people get to see that. And I think that's one thing they love about DTC is the fact they cover a lot of local events.
And they just don't do the high school games. I saw you on Channel 3 just the other night, the county elementary tournament in Smith County. And those are the stars of the future. Those are the ones that are going to get us excited in 2 or 3 years when they're playing for the high school team. And I don't know that happens a lot of times across the state, but those little kids, it's kind of like when I started the magazine back in the 80s. I felt like the high school kids were working just as hard as the college and pro guys were. Those little 12 and 13-year-old kids in middle school, they're working their tails off too, because they can't wait to wear that high school uniform in 3 or 4 years.
Of course, we also cover the Gordonsville and Smith County middle junior high game, and the parades and stuff. I mean, it's truly special to live in the area that we live in, Murphy, and for people to care about each other that much. I mean, the overwhelming support that we've seen with these teams and the financial support that these counties have given to these teams that are going to the state tournament, it's really, really, it's humbling. I know in talking to Matt Farrell, of course, Matt's not from Smith County, he lives up in Pickett County. He said, I'd never dreamed to see a team or a county this abuzz over Gordonsville boys basketball and Smith County Lady Out basketball. I mean, it's just something you don't experience very often.
That's one of those things that's so special about the Upper Cumberland. And we were able to interview Coach Jones of Cannon County in this program as well. And he talked about how excited everyone over there is about the middle school now being on track with Cannon County High School as far as moving those kids up to the next level. Their boys and girls teams at the middle school went very deep in postseason tournaments in East and West Tennessee, which has Cannon County fans already excited about the future of basketball. This isn't a one and done kind of thing. We're going to be that good next year too.
And when you look, I know it takes breaks. And when I say breaks, I mean, you have to have fortunate bounces in football. And when you look at, how our county teams just, you take the Owls and Tigers there in Smith County, going as deep as they go in the playoffs, year in, year out, the job that Steven Jackson and Matt Dyer do with their teams to get them to the, at least a lot of times to the quarterfinals. I mean, when you get to the quarterfinals, there's only 8 teams left in the entire state. That's a big to do. I don't care if you're in 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, or 6A. That's huge.
It is. It is. It's something everyone strives for once the season begins. Football is still king, I think, as far as Tennessee is concerned, and especially certain pockets in and around the state. The basketball is growing too. I was a little disappointed in the first day's crowd at Murphy Center today. But you got to remember, those are teams from Memphis and Sevierville that have to make almost from one end of the state to the other drives. And the second game was about the same. So, but basketball will show itself here in the next few days, this week and next week.
When you look at, as we transition over into basketball, that's the first year, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that any of our teams that we covered, and there's 10 of them all told, and that's not to talk bad about any of those, but realistically had a chance to get to the state tournament. It takes, it takes getting the final 4 of the district, the final 2 of the region, and then you got to win your sub-state game. Of course, 2 of the teams, which were the boys for Gordonsville and the boys for Cannon County, got to play those at home. But to go on the road, we talked about it last week's show, maybe a 80% chance that the home team wins in those, maybe greater than that.
That's right. Maybe not.
When you go on the road and get a win, especially like Smithtown did at East Nashville, that injects so much enthusiasm into your program.
Gives everybody in the county something to talk about, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Murph, as we wrap up the show, you and I have known each other a long time, and of course we did football together, and then after you started doing Cannon County basketball, you came on board to do that. It's an honor for me to get to work with you.
Well, it works both ways. I was in my 20s, you were in your teens when we first started doing basketball together over in Carthage, but it's fun, and what makes it so much fun is the kids.
Right.
You love those kids almost like you do your own, and I told many a member of Cannon County's boys basketball team last week how much I loved them.
Right.
They've worked hard, and it's a pretty doggone good time to be there and be a part of their life that was so important to them.
That they'll never forget.
Nope.
We want to thank Justin Mullen, always doing a great job for us. For Terry and Murphy, good night from the box score.